Hello everyone, welcome to the moon card reading for the waxing cycle of the moon. And today is the 23rd of December, which means it's nearly Christmas. And so I've pulled 4 cards for you today, those of you who are watching, from the Moonology deck, of course, because when we're talking about the moon, who better to go to than Yasmin Boland, the Moonology specialist. So the cards that we're pulling today are 4 cards for the waxing cycle of the moon. So hi everyone, this is your spread. So the first card is the top, second card is to the left, third card is down the bottom, and the fourth card is to the right. So that's if you were doing a spread. Good morning, Marianne. Morning, Kerry. So I've already pulled the cards for you folks. So our first question is, what's rising up in me between now and the full moon? So the waxing cycle is just when when the moon is starting to get full again. So it's the 2-week cycle from the new moon to the full moon. So in this next 2 weeks, what's rising up in me or rising up in you is a little bit of magical romance. So it's really important right now. I've already pulled the cards, Gabby. So these are for everybody at this time for the waxing cycle of the moon. So as I say, this is all about romance. The first card, a little bit of a romantic cycle begins. So the new moon in Libra, that's really important for you to know right now, bringing in more love, very important. And at a time of the year when a lot of people feel quite lonely and really struggling with just life in general, we really need to remember to bring the love back in, because when we're struggling, when we're finding it really difficult, it's usually because we're feeling fear and we're focusing on the things that we don't have. So it's really important to bring more love and romance into your space right now. That is what is rising up in all of us at the moment, is to remember to bring in more love. And you'll notice that there's the scales on there because it's Libra and it's all about balance, which means balancing love and fear, balancing the yin and the yang. It's really important that we don't get too weighed down by one side and not the other. So remembering that there's always darkness and light. So let's bring in more love. That is really important during this next 2 weeks, to bring in more love, bring in more romance. Start to romance yourself. You don't need another person to bring romance into your space. Card number 2, what's the solution to any challenge that you face right now? So this is for everybody who is watching this video. The beautiful card is have faith in your dreams. So how gorgeous is that one? So this is the waxing crescent moon, which is gorgeous because that is exactly where we are right now, which is the waxing crescent moon time at the moment. So really important to focus on your dreams. So you'll notice that we just had a really huge conjunction, a grand conjunction of Jupiter. That's Saturn and Jupiter together. So Saturn and Jupiter have had a grand conjunction yesterday, which was just amazing. And so it's really important that we consider right now the big things that you'd like to achieve. What is it that you'd like to achieve in the next year? How would you like things to go? What would you really like to be? So let's focus on that. Let's start writing down that energy now. Let's spend this next week to 2 weeks before the this next week and a half before the new year, writing down, whenever you think of it, all the things that you would like to achieve next year, all the things that you would rather have happen in the year than what we had last year. So we want to leave the past behind us and focus on the things that we would like to have happen. Now obviously, if you're wanting to travel overseas, you can't travel overseas just yet, but you can plan. You can definitely plan to travel overseas. So let's start researching, let's start thinking about what we'd really like to be doing at this time. So don't, have faith in your dreams. Don't lose hope. The third card is the advice. So the third card is the advice card, and the beautiful, this amazing full moon in Pisces is all about balancing spirituality and practicality. So that's one of the things to remember at this time. This is your advice, folks, for the next 2 weeks. We need to balance, and we've had the Libra card just a minute ago, we need to balance spirituality and practicality. So bringing in that beautiful energy of spirituality, and that doesn't mean religion. So even if you're not into Christmas, you can still bring in the energy of spirituality. You can bring in the energy of love. You can bring in the energy of family. You can bring in the energy of balance and hope and peace and all those beautiful things that spirituality means. So you don't have to be a Christmas person to bring in spirituality and get that balance of practicality and spirituality. So, and what do you need to do right now that is practical, that will look after yourself as well? So that is your advice right now. Really take that on board, remembering that this time of the year can be quite emotional, and that's why we've got the Pisces card as well, because the fish, those of you who are Pisces out there, just remember that the little fishy reminds us that we are actually emotional beings, that we are 70% water, and so is the planet, and we're very connected to our emotions, and we squash our emotions a lot. So I'd like to encourage you for the next 2 weeks to really focus on looking after your emotions and honoring your emotions. So whatever it is that you feel, please let yourself feel them, and encourage you to get help if you need help as well. Reach out if you need help with managing those emotions. But the beautiful thing is that you are actually getting some confirmation there from the moon in Pisces. And the final outcome of our 2 weeks for you is the beautiful Lion, the full moon in Leo, the don't let pride get in your way. So in the next 2 weeks, this is your advice. Our ego is very, very common to jump up. It's very common, that's not the right word. It's very quick. It's very quick to jump up and try and protect us if our ego thinks that we are, going to be hurt, or if we're going to be put in a situation where things are difficult. So just remember that pride may get in your way in the next 2 weeks. So it's really important to bring yourself down, be humble, grounded, and spend a lot of time in nature. The lion spends a lot of time in nature. That is where we need to be in the next 2 weeks. Wow, that was a loud motorbike. So make sure that you spend time in nature. Make sure that you spend a lot of time focusing on the inside rather than the outside, because that will remind you of your soul. And the more that we focus on the inside, the less that the ego has time. The ego mind has time to catch up and trip us up. So that is the little advice for the next 2 weeks. And particularly if you're spending time with family over the next 2 weeks, and we probably will be because it's holiday time, remember that to take a moment to step back. And it's such a beautiful card, such a beautiful reminder that the lion in all of us just needs to rest right now, rather than jumping up and biting somebody. So take that advice from the beautiful lion card, and I hope that was helpful to you folks. This is have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will do another card reading in the new year, next week for the beautiful full moon, and so look out for that. The last full moon of the year is next week, so I will definitely be doing a reading for you then. But for now, these were your 4 cards. A romantic cycle begins. Card number 1. Have faith in your dreams. Card number 2. Balance spirituality and practicality. Card number 3. And the beautiful don't let pride get in your way. Card number 4. Take good care, folks. It's lovely to see you. I've got to go to work now. So I will see you very soon, and take care. Happy Christmas. Happy holidays. Love you.